Genesis 6, the wickedness of humanity and God's plan for redemption. Genesis 6 sets the stage for one of the Bible's most pivotal events, the flood. This chapter explores humanity's increasing depravity, God's grief over sin, and his decision to bring judgment while preserving a righteous remnant. 1. Humanity's growing corruption, Genesis 6, 1-4. As the population grows, the sons of God begin to intermarry with the daughters of men. The phrase sons of God has been widely debated. Some interpret it as angels, while others believe it refers to the godly descendants of Seth. This union results in the birth of the Nephilim, described as mighty men, or giants whose influence further corrupts humanity. This section reveals a mingling of rebellion and sin, symbolizing the widespread spiritual and moral breakdown of society. 2. God's heartbroken response, Genesis 6, 5, 7. God observes the extent of humanity's wickedness, stating that every inclination of the thoughts of the human heart was only evil all the time. This verse emphasizes not just sinful actions, but the complete corruption of human intentions. God's grief. God expresses deep sorrow over humanity's sin, stating he regrets creating them. This regret does not imply a mistake, but highlights God's profound emotional response to humanity's rebellion. God announces his plan to wipe out humanity along with animals, birds, and creatures as they too are affected by the fall. 3. Noah, a beacon of righteousness. Genesis 6, 8, 10. Despite humanity's depravity, Noah finds favor with God. Noah is described as righteous, living according to God's standards, blameless among his contemporaries, standing apart from the corruption of his time, walking with God, indicating a close and faithful relationship with the Creator. Noah represents hope and redemption, demonstrating that even in dark times, a faithful life is possible. The earth is described as corrupt and filled with violence, emphasizing humanity's destructive influence. God resolves to destroy all life as a response to this pervasive evil, the ark. God provides Noah with specific instructions to build an ark as a means of preserving life. Dimensions, 300 cubits. Long, 450 feet, 50 cubits wide, 75 feet, and 30 cubits high, 145 feet. Materials. The ark is to be made of gopher wood and coated with pitch inside, and out to make it waterproof. The ark is a symbol of salvation, foreshadowing future acts of deliverance by God. Preserve it. Creation. God commands Noah to bring 2 of every kind of animal, male and female, to ensure the survival of each species. Sufficient food for his family and the animals. During the flood, Noah's obedience. The chapter ends by emphasizing Noah's complete faith and obedience. Noah did everything just as God commanded him. Key themes in Genesis 6. The depth of human sin. The chapter reveals the extent of humanity's moral and spiritual decay, illustrating why divine judgment was necessary and God's justice and mercy. While God decides to bring judgment through the flood, his grace is evident in preserving Noah and his family. Obedience in the face of uncertainty. Noah's faith is displayed in his willingness to follow God's detailed instructions, even when the task may have seemed incomprehensible or daunting. God's sovereignty and redemption plan. Despite human sin, God's plan remains intact, preserving a remnant through Noah to ensure the continuation of life and his promises. Why this chapter matters today. A call to faithfulness. Like Noah, believers are called to live righteous and blameless lives in a world that often strays from God. Hope. Amid judgment, this chapter reminds us that God's justice is always paired with mercy and a path to redemption, preparation for the future. Just as Noah prepared for the flood, this story encourages believers to trust God's plans even when they seem uncertain or challenging. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe for more Bible stories, and God loves you.